Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be checking out The Last of Us Part 2, Inside the Story, official behind the scenes. Now, as you know, the controversy about this game is that a lot of people have seen most of this game because of leaks, and I got a lot of comments from people who said they're not going to pick up the game because they didn't like what they saw. So that really breaks my heart. So whoever leaked this is a real ass hat to kind of destroy something that is going to be put out there by people who've put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into making this thing, and to make people go, no, they're not getting it, is just all sorts of wrong. I mean, so I'm not checking out the leaks. I don't want to be spoiled at all. I want to pick up the game and play it. And if I don't like it, fair enough. At least I'll give it a shot, and the money made from a purchase will go to the right people. We often buy things we don't like. We go to the movies, we see movies, we walk out disappointed. We buy other games, we play them, we put them down after 2 or 3 weeks because we don't like it. Books. Life is full of disappointment, and that's fine. It's going to happen. We can't be pleased all the time. So for this leak to happen and just hurt the developers like this, it's going to have some repercussions. It really will. So having said that, I'm going to dive in and have a look at the behind the scenes because I'm still immensely curious and I want to get on the hype train. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
For The Last of Us Part 2, we're hoping to create a story that makes a commentary about the cycle of violence and how acts can beget other acts, and show all the different aspects that could come out of it. Not necessarily good or bad, just the different consequences of one's actions.
I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
She angry. She looked great though. Beautifully rendered.
I've heard a lot of people say, why make a sequel to The Last of Us? I didn't even hear the full pitch of the game, but just like the outline of what Neil was wanting to do with this game, I realized, oh, this is something we have to make. This, this isn't even an option. There's absolutely more to do here.
There's always the fear that, when you made something great and you're going to go back to it, you're going to mess it up. You're going to mess what made it so special. The test for us was like, can we come up with a story that could, one, stand on its own and be meaningful and have weight, the same kind of feeling we had when we came up on the story for the first one. But also now, because it's part 2, it has to be additive. It has to take the first one into consideration, that if you played both, then you get like a bigger narrative.
The thing that Neil really cared about, that the studio really cared about, is honoring Ellie and Joel specifically, and their journey as characters. What is the honest next steps that they would take? What are the truest moves that we could see them do?
The Last of Us 2 expands on the first game, both in the relationship between Ellie and Joel, the relationships that we see Ellie having, and just the greater world that we're in, and we see more of it.
Looks insane.
It's a genre story about this infection that turns people into these crazy monster-like humanoids. The core of it is about these really intimate, intense relationships.
Yeah, people are more dangerous than the monsters around you.
At the start of the game, Ellie is 19. She is living in a safe, secure community.
We're coming in, 25 years after the outbreak.
25 years.
And you, as Ellie, live in Jackson, which is this kind of somewhat tranquil town in this really messed up reality.
She has real community now. She has people who love and care for her, willing to sacrifice for her. Joel is also very settled down.
He's now part of a town. He's no longer a smuggler. Actually, the town relies on this guy that is a very capable killer, and that's something these towns in this world need.
Yeah, you gotta fight the monsters.
Tina, where are you?
And then Jackson and Ellie are shaken by a violent event. It really changes Ellie's day-to-day life, and now just living is no longer enough. Like, there's these people that have wronged her, and she wants retribution. And you as a player are gonna want retribution for what these people have done. And then you go off on this journey that leads you to Seattle, where now you're like stuck in the city that has these warring factions, and they're both fighting over the spoils of Seattle, and you're stuck there in the middle looking for this very specific group that has wronged you. And that's the concept of the story. And then it takes you on all sorts of twists and turns in Naughty Dog fashion.
So you can kind of see the seeds of the story, the seeds
philosophical
of the story.
Arguments about some of the events and what happens in the game, and I think in this one might be more divisive than the first game in a very kind of exciting way that I think it raises those interesting philosophical questions and asks the players to interpret some of the material that's there and see where they stand on those questions.
It's not far away. I can't wait to dive into it. Don't spoil it down below. But you kind of get the outline of the story they're going to tell. And I'm not going to go into it here because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody else who might not have picked it up. But for me, it looks very engaging, like a story-driven narrative set in a zombie apocalypse kind of environment is very appealing to me. I adored that first game. The crafting, the use of light and shadow, the creepy atmosphere, the use of sound. Everything about that was a very tense experience and it was a lot of fun to play. And I think they're going to take everything from that first game and just amplify it 100-fold in this next one. But I like that they've kind of taken a natural narrative step. Like they're saying the story they want to tell is true to the characters from that first game. And it's their next natural steps. And it's all about relationships. And something terrible happens which changes Ellie's world and the township that she's staying in, this horrible, violent act. Look, I'm excited for it. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm definitely going to support the industry. At the end of the day, that's what it's about, because hurting the people who make these games financially so that they potentially can't make any other games down the track, or something happens and we get a dip in quality because of leaks. Oh man, it's just wrong. It really is. Those of you who actively seek it out to spoil yourself for God knows whatever reason, and the people who actually did it, man, shame on them, honestly. It's just heartbreaking, it really is. I'm pumped. I can't wait. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to support the industry. I'm going to have fun doing it. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.